And then I'm going to close up one side, and I'm going to roll my fondant out in a nice thin snake, and I'm going to put that down inside. So I want to make sure it gets nice and filled. I get all of as much of my fondant in there as I can. Push the rest of it down in there. There we go. Now I'm going to take my top and put it in there and screw it on. It's really full because it's already starting to come out. All right. Now, I like to use this and I turn it, and what I do is I lay it right here and I kind of just let it fall onto the counter, because if I hold it up like this, it's going to stretch, and then my ropes won't be the same thickness because it'll have stretched in places. So I'm going to just do like this. I'm going to cut this part off because it got messy, so there we go. So I'm just going to do like this and let them hang like this and lay on my board. And I want to make them long enough to cover all the way across. So that looks about long enough. So that I'm going to pick them up and I'm going to kind of lay them flat and lay them across my yarn like that. And then I'm going to do some more. And for the first layer, I kind of like to go all the same direction, just because it's going to cover the flat part of the pink really well. So sometimes you want to separate them and do two at a time, and you can. So I'm going to cover this up all the way across and go down. And you notice I'm not being exact because they're pieces of yarn. They're going to just fall where they fall. So let's do this last little bit before we have to refill the extruder again. And I can use this piece, even though it's not very long, but it's going to go across my bottom right here. Then I'm going to take this knife and cut away these extra pieces that are hanging, and then get more fondant, and we're going to refill our extruder and get more yarn going. Now we have our ball of yarn all covered, just all going the same direction. Now it's time to put some pieces going in other directions, so it looks like it's been wrapped and wrapped and wrapped with yarn. So I'm going to hold these up a little bit. The good news about having the Crisco inside the extruder is you don't really have to wet your fondant because it's got that little bit of stickiness of the Crisco on it. So I'm just going to take these and lay some that way and lay some this way and get some more going. You just want to make sure that they go all the way down and cover the entire ball of yarn. But you can make them go in all different directions, and that gives you your ball of yarn. There we go. Then you got to cut them along the bottom. Like that. And there you have your ball of yarn. Like that. Well, now we have our balls of yarn and we've got our basket, but we want to have some little knitting that somebody has done in our basket. So I'm going to roll out a few strips of our 3 different colored yarns, because obviously if they were knitting something from the basket, they'd be using these 3 yarns. And we're going to roll out a couple of different size pieces in nice little rolls. So I'm going to go, and then I'm going to cut this one in half and cut this one in half. We're going to cut that one. So we're going to add these just like this. Just going to put these all together like that. Cut a little bit of this off. And then I'm going to start rolling them this way. And then I'm going to start rolling them this way. And then back this way again. And back that way again. Now I get kind of a little bit of a, when you're pushing it this way, you're seeing I'm kind of getting a little bit of an opening there, so you can kind of bring it back again stretch it a little bit to get it straight again. I'm not going to be too worried about it because this is going to be inside the basket with everything on top of it, so you don't really notice it that much.